Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome to another video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and today we're talking all about Sim Update number 6, which landed on the 19th of October 2021. Could this possibly be the most error-free, bug-free update that Azomo has delivered? Well, we're going to find out in this video. We're going to be having a look at the release notes, and we're going to be putting some of those to the test to see just how well they are working since the update. We're also going to be checking things out like the mods that we usually see here on the channel, such as the FlyByWire mod and various other things. And we're also going to have a look at the new graphics settings which have been introduced with Sim Update number 6. So stick around and let's have a look at what this update has to offer. So the last major update was a little bit of a pain with regards to actually getting the simulator to recognize there was an update. In the end, it turned out we needed to download a specific Xbox app if you are a PC user, which was a little bit strange, but that is obviously now still installed, so running the simulator means that it automatically detects that there is a mandatory update, and then we head over to the Microsoft Store in order to find the update. Now at the top right of your screen you can see that the update counter is increasing, so we click on here, scroll down the list and look for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and lo and behold I actually couldn't find any update, and I've heard a few people also suggesting something similar. So you can give the Microsoft Store a little bit of a kick sometimes if you're struggling to find it. What I do is go onto the main page for the store, and then I clicked on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and then as soon as I did this it gave me an extra update. You can see a little counter increase up there. So then when I went to select up to this, we scrolled down and there it was, downloading the first sort of installation little file that needs to be downloaded prior to running the simulator again. So once that has downloaded, you can launch Microsoft Flight Simulator again, and of course this time it will find the update and give you the option to proceed. Now the update for me was just under 9 GB, and I know this is causing a little bit of confusion for some people because the size of this update all depends on which version you have. Now I have the premium deluxe version, so my update was perhaps a little bit bigger than the standard version. I think the standard version is around 5 GB, so don't be concerned if you are not seeing the exact same figures as you're seeing on the screen in front of you. Out of all the sim updates and world updates we've had, this one actually downloaded the fastest for me, and as you can see I don't have the world's greatest internet connection, but this means that it certainly didn't have all of the sort of stops and unpackaging of the packages that it downloads. Now that's probably just due to the nature of the actual download itself, but I found this to be definitely the fastest one, and in fact all the stuff I planned to do whilst this was downloading I didn't get time to do, so that was quite nice, a pleasant surprise. Once the download has been completed, then there is still the housekeeping that we have to do. First of all, we need to go to our profile and have a look at the content manager, as inevitably following a sim update there will be updates available to several titles. As we can see, all of these now need updating, so go ahead and select them and make sure you've got all of these up to date before you start flying. The next thing you'll need to do then, if you didn't get a chance to do this prior to the update launching, is you will need to go and disable the rolling cache. Now you can do this by finding the data tab and scrolling all the way down to the bottom, and as you can see here my rolling cache is obviously turned on. Now you can delete this, but in doing so, deleting it will then trigger a new download as it re-downloads all the stuff that you did have previously saved in the new Sim Update 6 version. If you don't want to do that now, because it obviously can take some time to re-download all that, simply turn rolling cache off, as then it won't be used. And of course at the moment you still need to at some point go in and delete all of the old rolling cache, but if you're anxious to get flying like I am, just leave this turned off for the time being and turn the rolling cache back on again and delete the old Sim Update 5 stuff once you've got some spare time. Next on my to-do list was to reinstall the Navigraft data. If you hadn't done this again prior to the update launching, uninstall it and then reinstall it again, as this new Sim Update 5 download has given us the latest AirAct cycle and we don't want the two to conflict, so a fresh install of this is advised. As with all major updates, the FlyByWire team have been ahead of the game yet again, and they have updated their developer version and their experimental version of the A32NX to work with Sim Update number 6. At the moment, however, the stable build currently now doesn't work at the time of filming this video, so you will have to download either the developer or the experimental version. So once that's gone ahead and done, we'll relaunch the sim and we'll take a look at everything that is new. One of the first things that I noticed then when launching in for the first time was that the little handlebar at the top where you would get your options menu has now been made invisible after a couple of seconds of hovering over it. So that's great to see. It means no more ruined screenshots. It was a little strange as well to see the fact that the trees had sort of a blue glow around the outline to them, but I'm not sure if that was there prior to this update or not. It was just something that caught my eye following this little camera angle just here. To start and put this update to the test then, I always like to go to a handcrafted airport. So for this video I picked Seattle to check out the new graphics settings that have come with sim update number 6. If we head on into the menu, first of all I'm going to turn on the frame rate counter just so we've got something that we can use as a comparison when playing around. So just bear with it whilst I get that on and we turn on the FPS counter so it shows just here. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty nice. I'm quite happy with anything really above 32, 33, 35 is certainly smooth enough for a flight simulator when flying the Airbus. So now if we go to the graphics settings, you'll see that I currently have my render scaling set to 130. Well, this used to actually cause a little bit of a problem pre-sim update number 6, as anything over 100 could cause a sort of glitch across the top of the screen here where my mouse cursor is. So it's going to take a little bit of time to see if that has been fixed in sim update number 6. If you found that to be fixed, please do let me know in the comments down below. The terrain level of detail slider now goes all the way up to 400. So how would this affect the frame rates? You can see that at the moment everything here is as it was. I haven't touched anything. The object level of detail of course can also be pulled right up. So let's just go ahead and sort of max those two out for a second and see what happens to the FPS. I don't expect my my mid-range PC to handle this too well, and as you can see I've lost between 5 and 10 FPS looking depending on where I look, and it's probably going to take a little bit of time playing and tweaking with these settings before I get something that I'm actually comfortable with. Ideally what we're going to want is we're going to want to be able to find a good setting which gives us a nice smooth experience, but also a setting where we don't see things quite obviously popping in and popping out of the level of detail around our aircraft. Whilst I was filming here in Seattle, I did have live traffic turned on, which all seemed to be working rather nicely, and Sim Update 6 fixes the memory leak that was brought in by having live traffic on, which means that if you are flying for any decent length of time, then you shouldn't notice a degradation in performance. It should obviously now have been fixed, so you can leave live traffic on for the entire duration of your flight. On over to the A32NX then from FlyByWire, I was very happy to see that everything had gone very swimmingly with the new download. This is the experimental version that I went and grabbed, and you can see that everything is moving as I move my new Thrustmaster, Captain's Pack, thrust levers and add-on pack, etc. I was concerned that things like the engine master switches, the key bindings may have all been deleted, as has happened in previous updates, but that hasn't appeared to happen this time. So all that is working exactly as it was before, so fantastic news. The next test of course then is to see if the integration with SimBrief is still working all okay, and a quick SimBrief flight from Seattle down to San Francisco, we can see it pulled in all the data with absolutely no problems at all. All the flight plan and everything was exactly as was filed in SimBrief, so the integration is still there and all working. We could also see as well that the Navigraft air cycle that I'd popped in there is also shown as up to date. Happy to also report that the flypad works seamlessly just as it did before as well, so no broken issues there, and essentially the A32NX following the little update from FlyByWire is working as it was before. So fantastic, well done Azobo, and of course well done the FlyByWire team. This is a mod still working and not broken. Speaking of things then that are broken and should have been fixed with Sim Update number 6, You'll notice if you watch this channel regularly that I have steered away from doing night flights whilst on VATSIM. The simple reason for this was because the lights of the AI aircraft and the other pilot's aircraft were not showing in the simulator, which makes it rather difficult to identify them and spot them when flying at night. So this has apparently been fixed in sim update number 6. Here I am on VATSIM about to pick on a poor unsuspecting pilot, and if I set the time of day to night time, we shall see that I still actually don't see any lights showing from this aircraft. Now, I could be perhaps forgiven for thinking that at least the beacon light would be on, or the taxi light, but we haven't even got any navigation lights showing here. Could this be a pilot error? Well, I think we need to find a couple more aircraft just to see. In the end, I ended up following this poor guy right the way to the runway, ready for his takeoff, and then we could see his landing lights were showing, but sadly we had no rotating beacon light and we certainly had no strobes or navigation lights. I then had a quick look around the airport to find some other aircraft, and it seems that whilst I did see a beacon light flashing, strobe lights and navigation lights are still not fixed. I did find this to be a great shame because it really does ruin the immersion when flying at night time. If you guys have seen something similar, or indeed you have seen lights working at night time on VATSIM following Sim Update 6, please do leave a comment down below. The night lighting in general for the simulator has been upgraded, and that seems to be true looking at these shots here. This does look better than it did in Sim Update 5. To celebrate the launch of Windows 11, Azobo have added a Windows 11 livery to the Extras aerobatic aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think it's almost a shame, however, that they've not added this to any of the other aircraft in the simulator, as I actually quite like the look of this, though I'm not running Windows 11 just yet. The Azobo team have also turned some world famous landmarks a nice blue colour, all lit up in Windows colours. I've managed obviously here to find the Sydney Opera House, and I'm sure you guys below will let me know in the comments which other landmarks you've managed to find lit up in blue. I would imagine the London Eye is also high up on the list. For anybody wanting a little bit more control over the wind gusts here in the simulator, your request has been answered, and you can now set obviously the speed of the gusts as you could before, but you can also increase the gusts per minute, as you can see, using the sliding scale. Perhaps this small aircraft isn't the perfect aircraft to use in this example. The changelog for Sim Update 6 is actually rather huge. You can see the release notes just here, and there really are dozens of them. I'm not going to go through each one individually, of course you are free to read these at your own discretion, but you can see so many little things have been fixed, things like lighting as well in England, hopefully no more flying orbs when at low level around there. Every aircraft has also had an update as well, which I think is quite nice, and testament to the fact that Azobo are looking to improve anything that isn't quite right. The software development kit has also had an upgrade, which is good news for mod developers and add-on developers, and I think one of the great things about this update is so far I haven't heard of any reports stating that this particular sim update has broken any mods that are currently available and compatible with the simulator following sim update number 5. One of the other things I did notice, and this really was me being rather nitpicky, is that the engine blast no longer looks nice and blurry and hazy as it did prior to the update. Instead, to me, this looks wobbly, which is kind of a poor effect. I think I much preferred it how it was. Maybe this is me, and maybe this is a graphic setting that I've yet to tweak, as the update hasn't been out that long. But if you're suffering something similar, I'd like to see in the comments down below if this is just me or you're getting this as well, and if you've managed to fix it, because I have to say I'm not totally bowled over by that anymore. I thought it looked absolutely fine before. So there we are. I think as sim updates go, we've come away relatively unscathed. The installation process was quick, simple and easy. After putting all my mods back into the community folder, everything worked, no crash to desktops. Obviously I will continue to play around with that in the future, and you'll see those on the live streams. But let me know how you got on as well with sim update number 6. Always very interested to hear from the community in how you get on with your update, to see if if it was as straightforward as mine. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. It really does help other people to find the videos and support the channel. And of course, if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. I shall see you all again soon. Bye bye for now.